Cool. So I think the intro's been done. How's my volume? It's good. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's just get stuck in. So, 9:01, sitting in the office, probably 10 years ago. Get a tap on the shoulder. We are launching X website today. Can you do some SEO? And I was like, I don't even know what it's called. Never mind, what it looks like or what sector you're in, or so, the key thing about SEO for me is foundations. It's like you can't do SEO after the event, or if you're going to do it after the event, you're probably missing out on like 50% of the opportunity. And what happened when I joined that company, I joined as SEO manager. My boss and myself, knew minimal about SEO. I used to buy and sell domain names, and I taught myself to code. And then, as a kind of result of that, I was actually teaching myself digital marketing. So I wanted those websites to rank well. And then I'd landed myself a job as SEO manager for a publisher. So got in there, and this was the kind of scenario where they'd come to us 9 o'clock in the morning and go, can you do some SEO on the new website? We're launching in 10 minutes. And, no. So basically, the longer I was there, the further back down that kind of development pipeline we got, to the point where it's like they're coming to us and they're saying, right, is there a market? We need more of these people. Is there a bigger market online to go and get those people? And so we went from, an afterthought to a pre-thought of, right, is there an actual market for what we do? In this instance, it was car reviews. So they wanted to know what we need more people who are interested in car reviews or the car market, about to buy a car. Go and find us more of those people. And, basically, in a nutshell, the inclusion of digital marketers in new product development is mission critical. Hopefully, this talk is going to kind of try and instill that. So this happened probably about 2 years ago. So I was with a client, and I was like, look, your website is super slow, worst I've ever seen slow, and that takes some beating. And the client is like, well, we were told it's our computer. So we did a bit of a technical audit and, highlighted some severe speed issues there. And the web agency came back and they're like, look, we just want to add that it's loading perfectly fine our side. We've tried, 5 of us in the office have tried it. It's fine. Yeah. Well, I'm looking at 5 independent tools and they're all telling me it's really bad. Yeah. So 6-second time to first byte doesn't really get any worse than that. Yeah. So, I try and push like the balance of power back to clients, because this is a pretty technical world now. How does my website look? Does it look visually good? Doesn't matter if it looks visually good. What's the engineering like underneath that? And one of the roles I like to play is try and push the balance of power back to clients so they can effectively challenge their agencies to deliver better products, basically. Yeah. So, competitor and sector analysis or market analysis is often overlooked, rarely gets done, perhaps because, some of the tools used to actually do it, you either have to pay for them, or perhaps you don't know how to use them, or you don't know how to use effectively the data that you get back. Yeah. So one of the key things you need to do is competitor analysis. So, even things around like the tech stacks of your competitors, what are they doing? So before you even consider building the product, go and have a look at competitors and actually find out what technology they're using. What does that actually look like? So you've got things like, Built With, does 5 free lookups a day, so you can actually see the technology that your competitors are actually using. So, instead of having to learn this stuff over the first year of your startup, just get it from day one. They're using this. They've been using it for, the last 3 years. There must be something about that product that is working for them. We need to consider using it. Yeah. Are they using web chat? Have they got a CRM with Built With? It shows you that. Might be using HubSpot Forms. Consequently, they're using HubSpot CRM. What tracking are they using? have they got the Facebook pixel in there? Might mean they're doing Facebook ads. It's a marketing opportunity. Site search, I'll come to that later. It's one of my favorites. And critically, what I've just said is, how long have they been doing this stuff for? So SEMrush, you can actually see how long they've been doing paid search. If they've been doing paid search for years, there's probably an opportunity there. Companies don't slug it out generally unless it's working. More often than not, you will see a little bump where they'll spend a load of budget and they'll come straight back down and it flatlines because they probably weren't measuring it properly, or so the kind of opportunity, if it's been running paid search for a long time, there's probably an opportunity there. So do keyword research. So one of the things I like, how shall I say it? When I go into companies, if you give me access to Search Console, Google Analytics, and I do some research around SEMrush, you can sit at the board table and within an hour you can be telling them about their customers because they're not seeing that data. 9 times out of 10, they're not seeing that kind of insight about their customers. And we're seeing this kind of across the board at the moment, where the level of kind of digital understanding in the market is just not there. So especially at the senior level, because the questions coming out of the teams, either the board don't understand it or the board don't know what questions they need to ask of their teams. So this is quite a good example. So this, I was doing some competitor research for, not these guys, one of their competitors, and in the keyword research, and basically these guys publish all of their analytical data on Alexa. That's like the holy grail. I didn't need to do any more competitor research because it was all published in there. So basically, there was a lot of product IDs. So if you got a Rolex or Panerai submersible Mike Horn edition PAM 00984, it's quite a unique watch, and basically people search by that SKU. Yeah. So if you think of what's that high street jeweler, I can't think it's called. It's Pandora. Yeah. So they've probably, is it Pandora's box? They've got like 10,000 SKUs. You're not going to go in there and you're going to go, I want that silver necklace. You need the SKU, and that's how people search, or they're searching more often in e-commerce. And the editor of my client was like, people don't search like that. Well, the data's showing us they search like that. And your competitors are leveraging that SKU in their search strategy. So if you Google PAM 00984, you're going to get a blog to watch. They don't rank top, but they're second or third. You're going to get a YouTube video with that SKU in their title. It's the board isn't seeing that data because they're not looking. They don't know where to look, or perhaps they don't. They might be experts in their market, but they don't know how their customers search for their products online. Yeah. So, building brand is very hard. So, I used to work for this publisher, and you guys heard of Auto Express? So, car magazine, traditional. I think it was one of the first 100 domain names ever registered at Nominet, and they had their product online. They used to rely on their editors to produce content, and the editor, using their skill of the market and a bit of finger in the air, used to go, we're going to write about this because we think our customers, this is what they're going to be interested in reading about, to sell magazines. Digital guys came along, and the ad sales guys are like, look, we need more car review traffic. The news website Auto Express is a little bit spiky because we might have the new Ferrari launching next week and we get a big load of traffic, and then the week after that it's back to normal. How do we find more of the car review market, because we know we can sell an infinite number of ads against that traffic, because those people are in the buy cycle. We want those people. And so we launched Car Buyer. We did talk to editors, but first of all we're going, right, show us the data, let's kind of find out how people search the internet looking for their cars. And that's what we did. Car Buyer is a 100% data-driven play. Yeah. So 99.1% of that traffic going to that website is non-brand. We haven't had to build brand. We we've just had to understand the market, and we've had to align the website with it, basically. Yeah. And you know, if I was going into that market now and I wanted to do keyword research against car buyer, SEMrush has shown me 181,000 keywords of insight. I could go in there and try and work out what the traffic profile looks like for that website. Yeah. And basically what you're looking for, or this is my process, so I would have segmented that 181,000 cars by Ford Fiesta. Yeah. I would have gone, right, strip out the word Ford Fiesta, I'm not really interested in that. What I'm interested in is all like the modifier terms around that process: capacity, interior, specification, reliability, dimensions, engine, review, speed, yeah, insurance group. And it's not an accident car buyer is structured like that. The architecture perfectly aligns with how the market looks for their cars. Yeah. So basically, each one of these pages is a page about that topic. It's an in-depth review. Talks about the interior and comfort, practicality, X, Y, Z. And you know, I left about there. I checked out about here, but you know, it's they did it again. You know, that's actually Auto Express. So this is when, you know, it's a little bit spiky. That's when it went data-driven. That's when they refactored the website to basically align much better with their audience. Yeah. That one, they wanted to rebuild their website, so they got us to do a technical audit. It's rare this happens, probably only ever happened once. They wanted a technical audit before they built their new website, so they could try and work out what was wrong with that one and not make the same mistakes going into the second one. So, you know, part of that build process was keyword research, and again, trying to understand the market, what that looks like. Can't remember what that one is. That one came to me probably, this is a 10-month process here. So he came to me around the summer, whenever that was, and said, look, I want to go into the jobs market for charities and third sector. And I was like, right, let's you know, we're not talking to a web agency or anything at this point. This is pure market research and analysis, and let's have a look at the marketplace. Let's use SEMrush to look at Indeed. What's the general job market look like? And then let's look at some of your competitors. I think with W4MP jobs, what does that look like? And, you know, right, let's engage with a web agency after we've decided what the structure of the site's going to look like. And, you know, it's got a decent growth curve. In basically 10 months, it became influential in that market. And that spike there, so back in about May time, so this is September-ish, that's about May here, we built in Google for Jobs. So it wasn't launched in the UK, but we built it in, and on the day it launched, we were probably only a handful of websites that had it built in from day one, and, you know, traffic just went bonkers. So kind of stay tuned to any relevant changes in your sector. You know, think what's Google doing, what kind of structured markup have they got, kind of stuff. And you know, what I've said there is align with the market ASAP. I often see startups where I come in a year's time and it's like, you're not in the market. You know, unfortunately, guys, you know, the website is just not geared up. It looks good, and you might think that it's conveying what it needs to, but you're just not in the market. And the quicker you can kind of understand that audience and what they look like and how you're going to structure the website, you know, the quicker you're in the market. You know, the quicker Google sees what you are, quicker authority can build against those pages. You know. So I was going to say here who's the last person you should speak to, but you know, I think for me the first person you speak to is somebody who is, you know, it's a digital marketer. You know, it's like somebody who is a data analyst who is looking at the market from like a keyword perspective, who can basically paint you a picture, and your agency, you know, paint you a picture of what your market looks like from a data standpoint. Yeah. overlay it with your market knowledge, but you have to get that insight up front, because it's too late, once you've launched it, because you're going to have to refactor it, rebuild it. I don't like saying to clients you need a new website, but what they generally mean when people say that is that it's just not in the market, it's not doing what you think it's doing, so you're going to have to refactor, rebuild. So this is kind of my process. It's a pretty simple one, start in Google Sheets. Yeah. And what I typically do is just ask clients to list what pages they think are on their website, and page name, what's the focus of the page, why are we creating that page, yeah? Why should that page exist? Yeah, and the reason for doing that is that, in my experience, and I'm not knocking agencies, agencies have their place, we need to use them, and but it's about managing expectations. So I think the expectation generally is the client is going to bring market research, understanding of their market, because they're experts. The client's expectation of the agency is that they're going to bring their digital strategy, and it's rare those two things happen, because the agency is not an expert in their market, the client doesn't know necessarily how to build websites, and are they looking at the data? Because if they're not seeing the whole picture around the data, it's, that relationship is not generally going to work. So I tend to sit in there. That's my kind of job at the moment, and it's kind of facilitating that relationship to maximize the opportunity. So this is what I see typically happens. The client will bring, we need a homepage, we need about us, we need contact us, we need our products and services. Yeah. The agency might say, well, have you thought about pivoting your data and talking about the industries that you operate in? Yeah, that's a good suggestion. And digital marketers tend to bring data insights about your customers. What are your customers actually doing online? What's the kind of periphery content strategy opportunity? And if you think of templates, there's a lot of sectors where templates work. Invoice templates, zero chase that market, because if somebody's looking for a invoice template in Word, yeah, there's an opportunity for Xero to upsell them an accountancy package. Yeah. Or if you've got quote templates, like one of the startups I work with, if you're looking for quote templates, well, they've got proposal software, so there's potential alignment there. So and that's typically when you do market research, you're looking at that kind of side of the market, or those little opportunities and those edge cases. I think Chris was talking about when you're trying to build content for staplers, it's those periphery, office supplies. You're trying to kind of tag on to that side to try and sell into that marketplace. So site structure, it's a key part of the mix, and it's not an accident the BBC is structured like that. BBC Sport, football, Premier League, Man United, whether you're a fan or not, and you've got pages down here, fixtures, results, players, news. Yeah, keyword research dictates that is how people search the market. Just align with that search mentality. It's no good knowing this data after you've launched your website, because you're going to have to refactor pretty much everything to align with that. Yeah. So, this is a bit around collaboration. If you're working with designers, agencies, anybody that's building a website, I like seeing InVision tools and any kind of collaborative tools that they work with, because it's just a lot easier to work in those environments. And InVision allows commentary, so if you've got some wireframes or SketchUps or whatever it is, you can very quickly comment on those. There's nothing worse than being sent a docx file or a pptx file in email, because it's just it's immediately out of date. So it's you've got to collaborate and get used to these tools. How do you leverage these tools effectively in your startup? Yeah, so get used to Git, because as a working with designers, developers, get them to set their code bases in GitHub. It's a different way of working. Some agencies don't like it. But again, it's that collaborative development process for me. It's a key one. Yeah. So again, one of the things I try and work with the clients on is actually trying to empower them to have a better relationship with their agencies, get more value for money, and it's showing them the tools they can use to constructively challenge their web developers and agencies. Yeah. So some of these page speed insights, GT metrics, think with Google, grow my store. Yeah, you want to be setting expectations with your agencies and saying, look, you're about to build my website or my app or whatever it is. We're going to benchmark you on page speed. Yeah. So not going to blow my own trumpet too much. That's my site. And it's not easy to get that. It's not built in WordPress. It's just a custom flat HTML website. Probably took me, it's days of work to get it to that level. It's quite a graphic intensive website. It's SVG extensively, and I was trying to get files from 5K to 1K. So the whole website is 227 kilobytes. Yeah, it doesn't, for me, when somebody asks me, what do you think of my website? Well, are you asking me aesthetically, or are you asking me to critique the engineering of it? Because that whole, this is engineering. This is looking at the engineering side of it. It doesn't matter whether it's got, all the bells and whistles. What does it look like technically? And people who are not technical can use these tools just to push back on their agencies and say, look, you've just delivered this website. It's F's, yeah? So, you're going to pay one way or the other for a slow website. Yeah, so you're either going to pay for it upfront in potentially additional development cost. Yeah, can't say you can do it for free. You can't. But if you don't pay for it upfront, you're going to pay for it in your marketing cost. Yeah, because quality score, or page speed, I should say, is a quality score metric. Yeah, and if you've got a slow website, you're going to get low quality score, or it's going to affect your quality score, and it's going to cost you more money. Yeah? So if you've got a quality score of 1, that cost per acquisition is $350. If you've got a quality score of 10, it's $50. Yeah? That is exponentially cheaper cost to acquire clients. So, speed for me is where I start. First thing I do when I go into a company, go and chat to DevOps. They're not expecting the SEO guy to come in and ask them what their infrastructure looks like, or ask them why isn't gzip enabled on your server, why aren't you using HTTP2, yeah? But it's opportunity. It's a lot of companies don't look at that. It's fundamental for me. Yeah? You've got to build a foundational level first and build on top of that. I like quoting my speed stats, but 1 second delay in mobile load times can impact conversion rates by 20%. You've shot yourself in the foot straight away if you launch your website. 1 second. Amazon, if they slow their infrastructure by 100 milliseconds, that's 1% of their profit. Yeah? Walmart incremented, they were losing 1%, or they gained 1% for every 100 milliseconds they optimized their website. 100 milliseconds, most companies I work with, probably seconds too slow. It's I don't think we can relate to it. It's people struggle with 5 seconds, never mind 1 second or 100 milliseconds, But it's the data kind of speaks for itself. And, slow websites about to get, what's the word? Yeah, basically. Chrome is going to start telling us, if a website's slow to load, they're going to start telling us prior to it loading, it's typically a slow website to load, hang around a bit longer, If sorry?
Is that the Edge browser logo?
Yeah, true. I hadn't seen that. This was posted on the Chromium blog a couple of days ago. Google is continuously telling us, make it faster, make it faster, make it faster. But, it's a challenge. WordPress is not particularly fast. Drupal's not particularly fast. Magento is even worse. Shopify's not particularly good. So they've all got problems, but the opportunity is a big one if you get it right.
Quickly,
Yeah.
So what sort of tools do you use to see what the redundant code there is to take out?
It's going deep, isn't it? I like that. I don't, to be honest. I mean, I think you can run some tools through CSS, or you can run some pages through like CSS finders to find out redundant markup. That's a proper deep dive, that is. Yeah. There's a direct correlation between speed and organic visitors. So we optimize this site here, and there's no other change here. This is a WordPress website. We optimized it here, and we're talking going from 20 seconds to 10 seconds. So publishers they have challenges because they've got to sell ads, so they've got to have an ad network. Ad networks are horrendously slow. We dealt with that. And up here, so started growing. They introduced a different programmatic ad network, and to the day, it just went south. I mean, take from that what you like, but that for me is, I've seen that probably on 2 websites where it's happened like that, and it's rare it'll go the other way. Where it's rare you get an opportunity to improve something, and then it goes, they self-inflicted the damage. Yeah. So, audit your delivery partners. So if somebody's building your website, what's their website like? What's their existing client websites like? Don't write them off. I was with a company a couple of months ago. First thing I do is go and check out that agency's client sites. Horrendous scores in PageSpeed Insights. It completely blindsided the agency because they're just not looking at it. But when they can't argue with things like PageSpeed Insights, GT metrics, Pingdom. It's fact. They had slow websites. They need to improve it. Yeah, and they turned it around. And this is where it is about setting like technical expectations with those agencies. If you want to build our website and you want to charge us good money for it, we want it to be fast because we're going to pay for it further down the line. How are we doing for time? Yeah, cool. Technology decisions, it's like, for me, start off the shelf. Whenever somebody talks custom CMS, I'm, retreating, wincing at the thought of it. Rule out WordPress, rule out Drupal, rule out Shopify. Those platforms, for 99% probably the clients I work with, they work, It's like, why invest in reinventing the wheel when you can take something off the shelf, get to market, So, last resort, custom CMS, custom anything really, and remember site search. Yeah. So, how many got e-commerce sites or actively look at site search analytics? Yes, it's my favorite metric basically. So, e-commerce, if you get somebody to search your site, they will be at least twice as likely to convert. Yeah. Some of these clients, it's 5 times. Yeah, so the value of like investing in site search technology, and when I say investing, I mean spending $29 a month on Algolia for Shopify or Magento or something like that. You can have significant gains. So that, I think it's that client, we put Algolia on there from traditional Magento search, and we probably saw 10% gain in revenue. Yeah. Just changed site search. Yeah, site search is like people telling you what they expect to find on your website. Yeah, so it's like the holy grail of data, basically. That's a typical website design and build budget. What about these things? What about market research analysis, CRO? It's very often overlooked. All the money goes into building this shiny looking website. But, what about measuring it? What about how are you actually going to look at the market? Yeah, so make sure you get budget into these two. And think like you were going to build a Zapier app. Not everybody requires a Zapier app, but thinking about how you leverage Zapier with you or your clients or whatever it is gets you into a mindset of a data-driven application. Yeah, so Zapier, you can take one of 1,000, 1,500 different applications, and you can pipe that data wherever you want. Yeah, and it just makes you think in a data-driven way about how you can use your data in other places. Yeah, so, and off the back of that, it's like think API first. The web is a very tiny component. For me, it's going to become a tiny component, yeah, which it is there. You know, so, and you can only operate effectively like this picture is if you think about APIs. Yeah, so the product, what's the fundamentals of the product in its rawest form, and that's the data. How do you get that into an API, and how do you leverage it across different marketing channels, whether it's widgets or chatbots or whatever it is. You know, think like that. Make it reliable. Yeah, Google likes reliability. Search engine users like reliability. You know, this site was down 73 times in a month, and it went down at 5 o'clock every day, or 5:30 every day, because that's when the host had their backup schedule. But that's a restaurant, and that's where everyone used to book their tables to go out for evening meal. You know, it's like, but the client didn't know that because they weren't monitoring it. The agency's not going to tell them that because they probably weren't monitoring it either. So again, the first thing I do with clients, get monitoring set up. Yeah, it's, you get some surprises. Whether you're paying £250,000 a year for your hosting, they go down, and you know, you need to know. Yeah. That changed my opinion of SEO, that document. Yeah, so I'm SEO through and through. That document fundamentally changed how I think about digital marketing, how I think about websites, how I think about what we need to convey to our audience. Yeah, so it's a 200-page document. You only need to read the first like 40 pages. It's just a game changer for me about what we need to convey to our audiences. Yeah, so YMYL, your money or your life. Yeah, so if you were in those sectors, there's a couple of others listed, but finance, health, community, or e-commerce, Google sets a much higher bar for trusting you. Yeah, and trust for me is I think you could have the best backlinks profile, you could have the best SEO in the world. If you haven't got that, you don't exist in Google search. I've seen it with some high risk YMYL clients. It's all about trust. So in that Rater Guidelines document, they say even for a mixed reputation in high YMYL sectors, it's enough to basically, you know, ditch you out of search. And I've seen it. Yeah, so that is a key component that we need to convey to our users. Think social proof, think outbound linking to authoritative, you know, bodies. If you're an accountancy, you know, ACCA, or, you know, pharmacy, JHPC, you know, think about how you link and you are happy, like, yep, you know, that's us over there, go and check our profile out. Google can associate entities in milliseconds, you know. Looking at me now, I have got a badge which says you can trust me. We have got that online. You know, Google, you just go, right, Trustpilot, yeah, they got good reviews. We're going to give them a point. Yeah. These are some of the things you need to convey about EAT. So who's responsible for it? Reviews. Make sure that's third party. It's not really good having your own reviews on your website. Think Trustpilot, FIFO. Yeah. About us. Returns policy for e-commerce is a critical one. And contact us. Yeah. If you're an e-commerce site and you sell stuff, people want to contact you to maybe to return it. Can I have another one? Yeah. Who's responsible for it? Do you trust that site? Yes. UK Meds, probably one of your pharmacy to you competitors. Yeah. Dispensed by registered UK pharmacies, discretion confidential, registered pharmacy, help, how it works, Trustpilot. Yeah, it conveys a lot of EAT, because that is a high risk YMYL sector. Yeah, so we haven't even scrolled past the top of the page. You know, they've conveyed a lot of things there subconsciously to make us go, yeah, I'm probably going to engage with these. Looking at it now, you might think, well, I don't pay attention to that. I think we do. You know, I think we subconsciously were looking for all of this stuff. You know, I've got clients where they will bury at the bottom their rewards for being the best of whatever. It's like, get it at the top, because people make their decision to buy from you based on that award, you know. So many people put stuff in the footer, it's like nobody's going to get it, you know. It's the last couple of slides. Brand audit, yeah. Companies just don't go and have a look to see what they look like in Google search. And, you know, that link there, so set up Google My Business, that link there for my e-commerce clients is minimal 1% of their revenue, total online revenue coming out of that link there. Yeah, and you know, what reviews have they got? So when the rest of the search results is here, somebody searches for that, they're looking there, their eyes are drawn. The fact that that delivers at least 1% of revenue says to me people are paying attention to that box. So set it up when it's free. Yeah. Use Twitter cards, Open Graph. How are you going to come across in social media? Yeah, you don't want to just look like that, because if you don't put your picture in there, that's all you're going to see. Think how much more real estate you take up of the timeline if you put a picture in there. Yeah. How often do you just see it when that comes through in LinkedIn or Facebook? Yeah. So just, you know, give yourself a fighting chance at the beginning. And that's what we try and do. To empower our clients, just show them the data, to generally paint them a picture of what their market looks like. And yeah, go start it up.
Thank you, Lee. Any questions for Lee? Probably only got time for a quick one or two.
Quick question.
Hi.
Your client with the ad network that sort of gently decline, what was the name of the ad?
City, which one was that?
Your client who
Yeah.
saw the decline with the ad network that they
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
What was the name?
Don't know,
No worries.
but I know it's programmatic. So
I use a couple myself, and I'm just wondering,
Okay.
and I've seen increases in speed with
Okay.
tweaking the caching settings, but
okay,
it took a lot of tweaking.
yeah,
Just
okay.
wondering who it was.
I don't know. I can find out. Yeah, I can let you know. Yeah, but yeah.
One more question? I see a hand up somewhere. Oh, Andy?
Yeah, ask them all again, sorry, Lee. I need to build branded traffic products.
Non-branded,
No, branded.
branded. Okay.
What would you say is the best thing for
I mean, you know, brand is definitely not my strong point. I mean, you know, I try and work with clients to do non-brand, you know, to try and grow their companies through non-brand, essentially. I mean, it's like car buyer. You know, if you understand, growing a brand is hard. Yeah, so why can't you build it through non-brand?
Well, if you do it organically, you
Okay.
can create the assets and put that out there, but
Yeah.
already against competitors that have strong organic branded traffic
Okay.
and good search results against it. Just how we leverage that.
Comparisons, it's always a dodgy sector. You know, if you do our client versus those other ones. Okay. Okay. You could go along that route. You know, I've seen a couple of instances where companies put up, this is our product against all our competitors, and then, you know, the legal letters start flying because, you know, it's a tricky one. Not sure I can answer that one effectively. But yeah.